Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to our flag. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much for allowing us to have this great community of ours. We appreciate you in so many ways. Thank you for giving us the ability to come together to make the decisions for what you want this community to do. We appreciate that, and we thank you, Lord. In your name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Sonny. Well said. Roll call.
Harble,
Here.
Elbert,
Here.
Venable,
Here.
Davis,
Here.
Bechtel, Young,
Here.
Meadows. Here. Coward.
Here.
Hearing of citizens' comments. Do we have anybody that would like to get up and talk?
Good evening.
Good evening.
What's your name, sir?
Trenton Gerard. I live over on Crone Drive.
Can you sign in on the sign-in sheet?
Well, I guess.
Please, thank you.
So I just wanted to ask, with the current rise in the property and the violent crime in our town, if it's on the radar of the council, and if it is, if you guys have taken any specific actions to address the issue for this year so far.
Okay, so was that two questions?
Yes. If you guys have taken any actions at all, any kind of ordinance or anything to help combat or prevent crime.
We haven't taken any actions different than what we already had on the books. We have an excellent police department, and he runs it right over there, and they take care of good business. And they react to what you're talking about.
Okay.
What was the other question? You had two.
No, that was it.
Any councilman have any different comments?
I guess I'd just like to know the context of why you're asking that.
Well, I've been a victim twice since living here in Boonville, 2 property crime. And for like Crime Explorer, they use FBI's database statistics for crime. For the past 5 years, we've had a 22% increase in property crime. We're 71% above the national average, which I think is kind of embarrassing, to be honest, for our population. So I was just wondering if we're doing anything, because just this year alone, I mean, my stepson, we had a gun scare on the school bus, and then my daughter's preschool got put in lockdown just, I don't know, a couple days after your guys' last meeting. So we're seeing an increase. I mean, I just don't know if we're doing anything to get ahead of the curve. I don't want us to turn into Columbia. So, you know, people live here for a reason.
Right.
Just a quick comment on that. So have you engaged the police department with any concerns?
Only in emergencies. So.
Okay, so I would encourage you to talk to Chief Randy. He's always a great resource, and schedule some time with him. The other thing I'll say is I know we've added 2 officers this year, or within the last 3, within the last 12 months. So,
Okay.
You know, retention and recruitment is something we're constantly doing in a small town, which is challenging. But Randy has all those details, so I would encourage you to set some time up with him and go chat with him.
All right. Thank you.
Good. Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Trenton.
Anybody else? Approval of the minutes, July 21. They're on page 3. Any changes or corrections? And they will stand as submitted. Thank you. Item 5, consent items. Consider pay app number 8 in the amount of $12,448.52 to GloveCon for City Hall upstairs removal. Item B, consider pay app number 6 in the amount of $178,394.41 to GBH Builders Incorporated for YMCA remodeling. Item C, consider change order number 1 in the amount of $19,508.60 for YMCA remodel. That's page 14. Item D, consider change order number 2 for $0.00 for Hydrovac of Missouri. That's on page 16.
Mayor, I move that we approve these consent items.
Okay, we have a motion.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Comments or questions? Roll call.
Harville,
Yes.
Albert,
Yes.
Venable,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
Meadows,
Yes.
Coward.
Yes.
Okay, presentation of accounts and claims, that's on page 17.
Ordinance appropriating money. Be it ordained by the council of the city of Boonville as follows. Section 1, for the purpose of paying salaries in various accounts against the city of Boonville, which have been allowed by the council at the regular meeting thereof on August 4, 2025, the sum of $982,574.77. General fund, $50,566.73. Sanitation, $38,243.60. CIP tax, $6,446.58. Waterworks, $35,857.42. Capital projects, $807,459.15. Wastewater, $14,152.44. Tourism, $10,514.20. Gaming, $12,822.00. Parks and Water, $175.90. Kemper sales tax, $6,336.75. Economic Development Project, $0.00. Section 2, this accountant is hereby authorized and instructed to draw checks on the respective city bank accounts in favor of the persons whose salaries and accounts have been allowed as above, amounting to $982,574.77, being the total amount of money being appropriated. Section 3, this ordinance shall take effect and be in force from and after its passage, first reading on August 4th, 2025, read for the second time this August 4th, 2025, since a copy was made available prior to the meeting.
Second reading title only.
Ordinance appropriating money.
Mayor, I move that we approve this ordinance appropriating money.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Questions or comments? Roll call.
Harville,
Yes.
Albert,
Yes.
Venable,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
Meadows,
Yes.
Coward.
Yes.
It's approved. Item 7, unfinished business. We'll do A and B together. These are both second readings on the Jackson Road project. What questions or any comments on them at all? I know I've been doing drive-bys. It's really kind of fun watching all that dirt move, to tell you the truth.
Mr. Mayor, I think we probably ought to split these up since one's the final site plan, the other one's the preliminary site plan.
You
Okay,
have to vote on them
all right,
separately,
thank you
too.
for the
And
recommendation.
there's still gonna be an issue with pushing through the preliminary site plan for,
All right, who's got comments on the site plan?
Get a
The
motion.
final
first.
one?
I'll make a motion, we approve bill number 2025-015.
Okay, second?
Do we need to read it first?
I need to read the title.
Sorry.
An ordinance of the City of Boonville, Missouri approving the final site plan for 98 Investments LLC located at 17120 Jackson Road, Boonville, Cooper County, Missouri, providing an effective date therefore and repealing all ordinances in conflict with this ordinance.
I would like to make a motion, we approve bill number 2025-015.
Second.
Motion and second. Comments, questions?
Mayor, just to point out, planning and zoning did review this. The only questions we had really were about number of handicap parking spots within the parking lot. They did review some of the drainage. I think Miko was looking at that. Other than that, it looks like a really solid plan. And from my point of view, I think it's great they're wanting to bring it into city limits. I mean, they could just do this out in the county and not even care about the city. And, you know, honestly, it's kind of pretty awesome. They're bringing it in. They're trying to involve the city. It's a really good thing, in my opinion, for the city of Boonville.
That's a really good point. In discussions that I've had with friends, it's one of the things I've said is, you know, they're bringing it into the city to assure that they do everything right. And they didn't have to at all. So, good point.
So,
Anybody else?
so aside during that meeting, is there anything to hold up this final site plan?
Unless
Okay.
he had some questions he was going to go back and double check. The Planning and Zoning Committee did vote to back it.
Okay.
Okay. Do we take a motion to approve?
We already did that one.
We had the motion.
Yeah, just
There's
roll
some
call.
discussion, just roll call now.
Yeah.
Yeah, roll call. Okay, thank you.
Harville,
Yes.
Gilbert,
Yes.
Venable,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
Meadows,
Yes.
Coward.
Yes.
Okay, item B, second reading of bill number 2025-016, approving a preliminary site plan for Ballparks Central at Jackson Road. It's on page 23.
An ordinance of the City of Boonville, Missouri approving the preliminary site plan for Ballpark Central located at Jackson Road, Boonville, Cooper County, Missouri, providing an effective date therefore, and repealing all ordinances in conflict with this ordinance.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion we approve this.
Thank you for the motion.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Questions and comments?
I'll just say real quickly to the council from a procedural issue, and Cy can back me up on this, is a preliminary site plan, so there's still gonna be some additional, work that's gonna need to be done on behalf of the applicants to ultimately secure the final site plan and then bring it back for formal approval before the council at a later date, so.
So do we approve the preliminary?
Yes, so this is
That's
moving
correct.
forward, yeah.
Yeah.
So we
okay.
just need a roll call now.
Rep-
That was the difference
okay.
between this one and the 015 ordinance, which was a final site plan.
Thanks, Brad.
Okay. Roll call.
Harville,
Yes.
Elbert,
Yes. Thanks, Brad.
Venable,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
Meadows,
Yes.
Coward.
Yes.
New business. Consider resolution 2025-013, authorizing and approving an agreement between Game Time and the City of Boonville for the purchase and installation of Harley Park bleachers. It's on page 41. We had a little discussion about that in the last meeting.
A resolution of the City of Boonville, Missouri authorizing and approving an agreement between Game Time and the City of Boonville, Missouri pertaining to purchase and installation of Harley Park bleachers and providing an effective date therefore, whereas the City of Boonville has solicited and received bids for this project, determined that Game Time represents the best bid pursuant to the purchasing code set forth in section 2-20 for the City of Boonville Code of Ordinances. Therefore, be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Boonville, Missouri as follows. Section 1, that a certain agreement between Game Time and the City of Boonville, Missouri relating to the purchase and installation of Harley Park bleachers, a copy of which is marked Exhibit A is attached hereto and made a part thereof is hereby approved. Section 2, that the city administrator and city clerk are hereby authorized to execute and attest said agreement on behalf of the City of Boonville. Section 3, this resolution shall take effect and be in full force from and after its passage and approval past this 4th day of August 2025 by the City Council of Boonville, Missouri. I also want to note that I do realize that the attachment, the Exhibit A, is not correct and not the correct exhibit, so we will definitely get that fixed. So, anyways,
Thank you.
I'll make a motion, we approve the amendment. Or I'm sorry, the resolution.
Got a motion? Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. got a
Paul,
motion and-
Paul, are we
second.
still in line with the bid from last meeting? It was just a little over 30,000, I think. What's the time frame on the, I know the old ones are gone, which is great, so,
That one's all cleared out. I have not heard back as far as the timeline, what it is.
okay, before April 1st. All right, thanks, Paul. Yeah, just a quick comment on this. I think this is long overdue, and everyone that uses the park will be very excited to see aluminum bleachers. It's really, really nice and a good upgrade. People were excited about the blank space even, so this is a good move.
How many, I was trying to think of how many times I get, you get away from work late. By the time you get there, the only place to sit down was on what you just said, is to sit down on that edge of concrete. Yeah. Oh, what a great improvement. Questions or comments anymore? Roll call.
I need a second.
I second it.
Oh, you did? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
You want me to say roll call again?
No.
Okay.
Okay, Harville,
Yes.
Gilbert,
Yes.
Venable,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
Meadows,
Yes.
Coward.
Yes.
Okay, item B, first reading of bill number 2025, establishing the tax levy for fiscal year 2025 and 2026. It's on page 47.
An ordinance of the City of Boonville, Missouri, establishing the rate of taxes to be levied on all property subject to taxes in the City of Boonville, Missouri for the fiscal year beginning April 1, 2025.
Motion?
No, it's just a first reading.
Oh, excuse me, you're right. Okay, as always. Item 9, reports of standing committees. Anybody have a report, committee report? Nope.
I guess just one quick thing, if you noticed, this was in Kate's memo, but part of the appropriations was a large payment for the airport improvements.
Right.
So the airport board met on this last month. I addressed it in the comments, but that's a big important step for the improvement of the airport. So it was paid partially this month in the appropriations
Good,
to the tune of about 800,000, I believe. So it was a big investment.
nice. Anything else? Reports of city officials. Mayor. I have a quick comment on our renovation project on 3rd Street. And I'll make it as quick as I possibly can. I grew up with a grandfather and a father who could renovate anything. And we lived on a lake in western New York. So cottages were everywhere. And if any of you have spent a day, a week, or a month in a lake cottage, renting it, you know what I'm referring to, what lake cottages are. My granddad was the head 5, and we were very careful to make them as possibly comfortable as possible, and one of the things we did was we lived in them before the season for a couple days, but we wanted to do that so that we had a good process. That's a whole world different than what we've got on 3rd Street. What Steve is having to deal with on 3rd Street is age. It's abuse. It doesn't necessarily mean that what's there and what's in the ground and what's the core of that area is bad. It just means that it looks bad. And those of us that would prejudge what Steve is having to fight with Please don't. I've been there. I was hammering nails in real, Steve and I were just talking about it, in real 2x4 studs. That'll tell you how old those buildings were that we were building on. Please be patient. This is not something that you snap your fingers and changes. Anybody else have comments?
Mr. Mayor, if I may, I would just like to reserve those comments for, because I'm going to make a little more of a presentation to the council, so I'll be able to answer any questions anybody has.
I didn't usurp you, did I?
No.
No.
No, you made your comments. Floor is yours, but.
Okay, good. All right.
There was a comment.
Yes, sir.
Hello, Council. My name is Justin Tibbetts. I served in the Air Force for about 10 years, from 2009 to 2018. I spent time in Europe, especially in England. I lived in a tiny little community, which they still have villages there, and I lived in a very old, it was like a 15th century cottage that was converted from a bakery. And there's a certain feel and atmosphere that they have in those little communities there that you really love, and you know your neighbor, and everything's in walking distance. And that same kind of charm is what I get from the city of Boonville. I really enjoy this city, and as I've been here about 3 years now, and the Fredericks brought me in, and they're a pretty good family too, and they've been here a long time. They show me a lot of things. And so looking at 3rd Street and 6th Street and some of these places, and I bought a house about a year ago over on Morgan, right across from the prison, and it's over 100 years, and I still have a lot of work done with that. But there is a charm here. And I met a man about 18 months ago by the name of Chris Coleman, and I've been working with him essentially free of charge. Just because I enjoy the work, and we've been uncovering some very old buildings or houses that as we've gotten into them, we realize they continue to be older and older. And as you're saying, Mayor, we're finding those those 2x4s and the true 2x4s and 4x4s that were hand hewn and bricks that were fired on the spot and things like that. And I agree with you, and I think this city could really benefit from taking those old properties and fixing them up, and bringing back, obviously bring them up to standard, but keeping them be as original as possible. And I've just heard, this is my first council meeting, but I heard about the city possibly wanting to tear some of these places down because maybe they're a hazard or things like that. And so what I wanted to bring to your attention is, in those communities like I was speaking about over in England, they would just literally caution off certain areas or certain houses or properties to tell the public, hey, don't mess with this, and then just one by one they'd kind of assemble a team. And it's obviously like contractors and things like that, people who want to take it on. So I just wanted to bring it to your attention that it is important to keep the core of the city the same. And there's some new things like the boat over here, and there's some new things that the city's bringing up, which is great. But I think we should really focus on keeping that charm and really backing our contractors, the men and women who are taking on the projects to kind of fix things up themselves. And that's just what I wanted to say. Thank you very much.
Well said. Thank you, sir. You got anything?
I do not.
City clerk? It's nothing. And now city councilor,
All right,
who we know has something.
I'll pick up.
And is getting interrupted 100 times.
I'll pick up where you all left off. So the elephant in the room was the dangerous buildings issues. If you'll remember back in April, I think it was April 21st, we had worked with Mr. Coleman, who I believe is here, and his wife at the time had both signed off on an agreement in regards to two different dangerous buildings, 806 and 810 3rd Street. Mr. Coleman, through his attorney, had submitted a repair plan and a remediation plan to address what was deemed dangerous buildings by an inspection from Building Inspector Haig. Since that time, we had followed up. I'd made several comments to the council that we were going to bring this back to review. The original repair plan was a deadline, an absolute deadline of August 1st. Last week, I met with building inspector and city administrator, and we discussed the issues. And if you'll recall, in several previous council meetings, I said there's a very fine line that we were dancing around between private property rights and what is in the best interest of the city under the ordinance as it pertains to dangerous buildings. So before I move forward with my formal recommendation and give a little more updates, I want to at least address some of the comments that you just made, sir. As a municipality and as a government organization representing the best interests of Boonville, I do also enjoy these old buildings, but these buildings are not charming if they're dangerous. Okay? If it's a building that's near collapse or is in a potential for harm to someone else, it no longer has that charm. Doesn't mean that potential's not there. Doesn't mean it can't be brought back to life. But we as a city government have an obligation to try to preserve and protect individuals' property rights while also protecting the general welfare. I also don't think that it's the city's responsibility to maintain these buildings. We can't go in and put ropes around it and say, we're gonna fix it up. Okay, we look at our ordinances and say, okay, can this get fixed up? All that being said, I met with the building inspector and city administrator last week, and Mr. Haig did go by and do a follow-up inspection. I believe it was potentially emailed to you, or at least there's some written stuff in the council's packet, that Mr. Coleman, the owner of the buildings on 3rd Street, has made some progress. He has made some progress, and Mr. Coleman, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but primarily 806 3rd Street has seen the most progress as far as the issues on the repair and rebatement plan. Okay. Yeah, so what we did was Mr. Haig did a follow-up inspection. Unfortunately, there are still issues with both buildings that are out of compliance, but it was clear just from the street, notwithstanding the foliage, which makes some of it harder to see, that there have been some efforts at remediation of the dangerous conditions. So I made contact and discussed this matter with Mr. Coleman's attorney Friday afternoon, and discussed it with him, went back to city council or to city hall, and it would be my recommendation, and I speak in concert for the building inspector, Mr. Haig, and city administrator, Ms. Fiel, that the recommendation was Mr. Coleman, so we're all on record, that it's very clear, was our recommendation that you be given 7 days to secure an updated building permit from city services and immediately remediate the most concerning dangerous conditions, no less than 30 days to at least stabilize those matters. Then under the ordinance, he must continue without any unnecessary delay. Shortly before tonight's meeting, Mr. Coleman reached out to me personally, provided some photographs. I don't know exactly when they were done, but sometime between last Friday and about 2 hours ago, there have been some efforts to shore up the bricks that were on the south side of 810 3rd Street. That was my biggest concern as a layperson. I had addressed that with Mr. Haig as well, and some efforts to directly address some of the issues that were in the repair and abatement plan. So, not to sound cliche, but I believe we got Mr. Coleman's attention after Friday. I do know that repairing old buildings takes time. The issue for us is we work with what's on paper, what's voted on, what's approved on, what's consented to. So again, circling back, and Mr. Haig, was I consistent with what we had discussed?
Yes.
So my recommendation to the council would be Mr. Coleman be allowed 7 days to secure a new building permit, immediately address those concerns, provide some type of updated written report, if you will, to Mr. Haig to say, okay, you can fix up the building. We want the buildings in Boonville fixed up, but we want them to get out of that dangerous condition. That is the biggest concern on behalf of the city in regards to ordinance violations. So
7 day effective from starting.
Effective from today.
From today, so August
next
11.
Monday.
Is there a deadline to show?
So that's,
Things
we
are
are not, at this point, we're not governed by a particular, there isn't an ordinance about after a finding of a dangerous building, how much time is allowed, so we circle back to the ordinance that's continue without unnecessary delay. Work's gotta be done. At this point, the way that our findings are, the findings of fact and conclusions of law that were entered on April 21st. The building technically is already dangerous at this point. We gave from April 21st to August 1 to address the issues in the repair and abatement plan. There have been efforts. I won't sit here and deny that the efforts have not been made, but there are still dangerous conditions there. So it was my agreement with Kate and with Steve that get the building permit right away, get to work right away to secure the most dangerous conditions, have a report provided to city services within 30 days. That will then potentially open the door for continued, without unnecessary delay, renovation.
So just a comment. Brad, maybe you can help me with the timeline on this. So we have a signed agreement with the Colemans. I'm not sure on the date. I think it's April 21st, where we discussed, let's just talk about 810 3rd Street. 6 items with a date, must be abated no later than August 1, 2025. This is, I'm looking on page 43. If I jump forward to the condition of those 6 things on 7/30 of 2025 at 810 3rd Street, 0 of the 6 are completed. I don't understand this. Yes, sir. Yes, please. I'm okay with this.
Yeah, Mr. Coleman,
that's fine.
you're welcome. I wanted to get my piece out there first, so.
Yeah,
So I like to think I'm very methodical about how I do things.
Okay.
I'm actually living in 810 now.
okay.
So if I personally thought it was dangerous, I wouldn't be living in there. Now that wall does have issues, but it's also not load bearing. And I was just like, all right, let that be for a minute. I want to get in and do that right. I've been doing a lot of research on how to, because it's got a bow and you got to be very careful with brick when you're going to straighten it out. And so didn't think that was a big issue, didn't focus on 810 near as much. I'm in there, so I focused on 806. And I've got where the back was rotted, all that's been torn off, I've reframed, and I've got a lot of doors, trim, windows, materials that are sitting out right now. My focal point was to get a new roof on that and get my stuff out of the weather. And that's where, so we're 4 inches above average rainfall for summertime, and we're finally out of a 3-year drought. But I've been dealing with rain again, and I had a serious heat stroke a week and a half ago. I don't know many people that are out on a roof in the weather we had. And so you have minor delays like that, but the focal point was 806. And you know, I was chipping away internals. I jacked up the flooring, all the floor joists in 810 and secured that. You want to get all that square before you start messing with the upper part of the structure. So there's a lot of stuff that I did over there it wasn't even required, but there's an ordered operation kind of thing.
So you're living in 810?
Yes.
And there's currently open windows in
Yes.
810?
Yes, no, it's been a rough time. I'm going through some things right now as far as, but yeah, it's urban camping.
So I guess and then if we focus on 806, so there's five items from April 21. I think it's the same date, Brad?
Yeah.
I've been over there almost every day.
And that one's, we've had some completions on 5 of 5, but if we look at the 11 items, 0 of the 11 are completed, 5 of the 11 are somewhat completed, 6 of the 11 are not completed.
I'm also one man, and I have to earn money at the same time. You know, those aren't paying me anything.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Other questions?
Brad, can you restate your recommendation again?
My recommendation, after discussing this with both Steve Haig, the building inspector, and Kate Fiel, city administrator, is that we basically set the deadline that Mr. Coleman has 7 calendar days from today, so that would be next Monday, the 11th, to contact city services, secure building permits for both of the 2 locations. Immediately begin addressing the dangerous conditions that are on those plans, the ones that are not yet completed or some completed, but I think that he'll know which ones we need to be addressed. I know something got addressed in the last 72 hours. With a 30-day report to city services within 30 days, non-compliance is going to cause an issue. The order is already in place. If we see some due diligence immediately, then he can secure those building permits and continue to the satisfaction of the building inspector. And again, that's when the ordinance will control that it has to continue without unnecessary delay. That's the language in the ordinance as it applies to dangerous conditions.
Thank you.
I will also just reiterate, as the council, I want to make sure everyone's aware, and Mr. Coleman here is on record, the order is already in place. So at this point, this is, and I'd like to quote in my email to Mr. Coleman's attorney last Friday, as we discussed, he will be in violation of the council's finding and order as of tomorrow, August 2nd, and the city will then have the authority to raise the properties. If he wants to avoid that, he needs to make the remediations at his utmost priority. This is his absolute last chance. That was what I had communicated to Mr. Coleman's attorney Friday afternoon.
That seems very clear to me. I didn't leave much room for interpretation.
Mr. Coleman, we're on the same page, right? You understand what I'm recommending to the council?
And I make a motion, we take Brad's recommendation.
I'll second.
Oh, so we gotta vote on this?
Instead of-
Yeah, let's get something on record, please.
Okay, hold on.
Are we saying that all 11 items must be completed by the satisfaction of the inspector?
Are you working on the progress? Okay, so my recommendation tonight is get a building permit right away. The problem is that there's a credibility gap here. We had April 21 to August 1, and we at best have some completed. So the negotiation about what or what doesn't get done between now and those 30 days, I'm going to defer to the building inspector when we start talking about what is or is not dangerous. In deference to Mr. Coleman, you're living in 810, but you also acknowledge that an external wall is bowing. That's going to continue to cause concern to the building inspector. So, although I understand the process of stabilizing floor joists before you do anything else, that's not what we see when we look at the ordinance of what is or is not a dangerous condition outside. Okay, and I'll give you that. You sent me photos right before council. But moving forward, we need to have a plan in place where there is a line in the sand yet again, and this is the line that I'm recommending to the council. Get a permit, 30 days. You don't have to keep me happy. You don't have to keep this council happy per se. Address it with Mr. Haig, the building inspector, to remediate the dangerous conditions that cause him the utmost concern. You can cover windows. That's checked off the list. Okay, you can check that off and then order new windows. Okay? Address the wall, the holes in the roof, the most serious dangerous conditions, and provide a report to Mr. Haig. And then a building permit itself is good for 6 months. So if you can continue without unnecessary delay to Mr. Haig's satisfaction at the end of 30 days, you have the protection of a building permit so long as it is without unnecessary delay. That's what dangerous buildings code is going to say. Building permits are good for 6 months, but something needs to happen within the next 30 days. Any other questions, comments?
Are you clear?
I'm clear on that.
Great.
I think we're good.
Okay.
Anybody else? Need a roll call?
Harville?
I'm sorry, I have a question.
Oh,
So, I'm sorry, we didn't ask for.
That's okay.
So essentially, if we do nothing, tomorrow we can start tearing things down.
Yeah, but theoretically, under the ordinance, the buildings are still out of condition. Mr. Haig and Ms. Fiel and I reviewed that last week, knowing that we were coming up on August 1st on the deadline.
Okay. I've had a lot of complaints, personal people reaching out to me on this. So, I mean, we're extending one more week is what I'm hearing.
We're extending 1 week to secure the building permit, and then 30 days thereafter to immediately satisfy those dangerous conditions to the liking of Mr. Haig.
Okay, all right. Sorry, I needed
No,
that.
you're fine.
Yeah, the good news is you've got specifics
Yeah.
to deal with,
Okay,
right? It's not waffling around in the wind.
well, yeah, I have people to answer to, so.
Anybody else?
Okay, Carvel,
Yes.
Albert,
Yes.
Venable,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
Meadows,
Yes.
Coward.
Yes.
Okay.
Anything else?
No, I have nothing else.
Okay. Any miscellaneous? God knows what that defines. Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
I think there was a question.
You gotta speak up, please.
I don't know who's complaining, but what I do know is I've got to know a lot of my neighbors in that area. And I have they're across the street behind me in the alley, and I have a lot of support. They all offered to come tonight, and I told them, stay at home, relax. And so maybe there's a few, I don't know where it's coming from, but I do have, it's a good neighborhood, and I've got good support, so.
Could you do that?
I'm glad you feel that way. I mean,
There's
I
always going to
am,
be somebody complains, yeah.
no, there's quite a few.
I'm
All
sure.
right, and I have been approached by many people, neighbors
I'm not
of yours
denying
at
that.
other places.
I'm not denying that, but there's a lot of armchair quarterbacks too, so, you know.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Anybody else?
Okay, I need a second to adjourn. Okay.
Did we get a second?
We got one somewhere.
Okay. All right. Motion a second. All in favor? Stand up and go.